Hello, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you can update the status of a volunteer application on Volunteer Cambs. So essentially, when somebody gets in touch with you in order to volunteer with you, you will get a notification through the website or an email into your inbox. You can then log into Volunteer Cambs and go to Activities and Applications in your toolbar to see a summary of the inquiry from the person that would like to volunteer with you. You could also go to Data to find that information. And then when you're there, you'll see something similar to what is on the right on the screen at the moment. You'll see somebody's name, that their status is pending, a box that says messages, and then a notes section. So when anyone gets in touch with you, their status will automatically be put to pending so that you can then move them along as appropriate, changing their status as you need to. So if, say, for example, this person got in touch with you, you then arrange to have a conversation with them and you decide that they can go through your application process and they can volunteer with you, you can then move them to an accepted volunteer. So you just click on the little arrow next to pending and a drop down box will appear and you can click on accepted. A pop-up will then come up for you to kind of confirm the change in status and it gives you the option to let the volunteer know that you've updated their status on the website. If you don't want them to get a notification, you just click change without notification. And then essentially what you're doing is just updating your records without the volunteer knowing, which is absolutely fine. It might be that, they've been recruited from the site and you'd like to celebrate that and send them a little message. So then you could change and notify so that they receive that directly. This is also relevant when you have had an inquiry and then you decide not to move ahead with that person's recruitment. It might be that they weren't suitable for the role and you can, in that case, select declined. And again, if you select declined, the pop-up will appear and you can click change without notification so that that volunteer doesn't receive a message saying they've been declined via the website. Hopefully you can do that, over the phone or email or however you've been communicating. You can also use declined if, for example, somebody applied, you got in touch with them and then you didn't hear back from them to kind of move things forward. And I'd recommend having, a certain amount of time that you'd wait to hear back from somebody, maybe a few weeks. And then if you haven't, you can come back into Volunteer Cambs and move them along to declined. And again, you can click on change without notification so that you're just updating your records. This is really important because otherwise you will end up having lots of records listed as pending, and that will become quite unclear for you and for us as Volunteer Cambs. It means we don't get the real picture as to how many people are moving on and volunteering within the sector. So if you can try and update your status as best you can, that is really, really appreciated. And also worth a note that if you move someone to declined, it doesn't mean that you won't be able to go back into that record. If they do pop up in a few months' time and say, oh, I'm really sorry, things came up, you can go back in and change their status back to pending or move them over to accepted. You can also see on reserve list here. So this is really if an opportunity is full, but somebody is still interested in joining you, you can put them on your reserve list so that you've got a note to go back to them, if somebody leaves or you have another event, for example. Okay, so I hope that helps, but please do take a look at your kind of data. If you've got lots of people as pending, try and move them along to either accepted or declined so that you've got up-to-date records and we can really see the impact of Volunteer Cambs. Thank you.